n8n 2.0 is launching soon. But here's a reality from someone who's built 90+ client systems. 99% of the changes are backend infrastructure that you won't notice. But there are two actual changes that could affect your production workflows: Python code sandboxing and subworkflow requirements. If you use either of these features, you need to know what changed before the automatic rollout hits your cloud instance on December 15. We're talking about SQLite driver swap, which means the database is 10x faster, according to them. Security hardening across the platforms, that we will come back to this a little bit later in this video. Some OAuth security fix, which could break some of your connections if you don't pay attention. And some binary data handling improvements for large files, which is a tremendous update for sure if you use binary data files. But most people won't notice the difference because most of the work happened under the hood. And that's actually exactly what a mature platform should be doing. Fix the foundations before adding flashy features. There are two specific changes, like I mentioned, that could break existing workflows. And we ran into one of these with a client system recently. The first breaking change is Python code sandboxing. So this is a security improvement, but it breaks certain workflows. So before n8n 2.0, Python code nodes could do almost anything: read and write files on the server, import any Python libraries, access system level functions, and now Python code runs in a sandbox restricted environment, which means that if you were using any of those features I just mentioned, your code nodes are not going to be working. And the most important one, I think, that a lot of people are not paying attention to is the custom Python libraries that are not into the n8n approved list that you might be using. Because yes, if you've been using AI to actually code, then you might have some of those libraries inside your workflows and they're gonna break. Apparently, I had trouble importing the Python datetime library, for example, on the cloud instance. But if you're on n8n cloud and your Python node breaks because of those changes, you can't just add it back. Basically, you're limited to whatever n8n includes in their approved list of libraries. You'll need to either rewrite the workflows that you have to work within the restrictions, or move that functionality outside of the Python node entirely. This is a tremendous change for companies that have many workflows using Python nodes, and it's a painful change to do. If you have a self-host instance, you have more flexibility. You can control the Python environment and you can adjust the sandbox if needed, which means you can add permissions to use certain libraries in Python. I wouldn't be surprised if many people decide to switch to self-host for the added flexibility now, to be honest. Here's a real example from our client work that I had not too long ago. We had a client workflow on n8n Cloud that used many Python nodes to process files coming from QuickBooks. When we tested a 2.0 upgrade, it broke. We couldn't have the library back because we're on cloud and it's not allowed. So we had to migrate the entire thing to a self-host version because that way was way less painful than modifying the code itself. If you work with QuickBooks API, you know what I'm talking about here. Here's what to do with this. You should use the migration tool before December 15. You should go to Settings, Migration Report, and this is admin only. This will scan your workflows and show you if any Python nodes will have compatibility issues. If you don't use Python nodes at all, you can skip this entirely, but just be aware of the limitations for now for your future developments. The second major change involved subworkflows, and this one has really two parts. The first thing is that subworkflow must now be published. Previously, you'd have subworkflows that could be inactive and just save, and you would call those subworkflows from your main workflows, right? Just make sure that you update your subworkflows and you publish them now, otherwise it's not going to be working. The second thing is a long-awaited bug fix regarding the wait node and subworkflow. This isn't technically a breaking change. It's a bug fix that might affect the workarounds that you've been creating for a long time now. Here's what was broken if you don't know what I'm talking about. Parents workflow, so the main workflow, we're calling a subworkflow, right? And subworkflow, if they had a wait step longer than 60 seconds, coming through webhooks, form submission, human in the loops, approval, whatever, then basically a subworkflow was returning nothing to the main workflow. So you had to do workarounds for this. But in n8n 2.0, the subworkflow is going to work as intended. That's magical, right? So why this matters? If you've been using subworkflows with wait nodes, webhook nodes, form nodes, human in the loop, you might have built workarounds for this part. Okay, this you should know. If you have workaround in place, those workarounds might now cause issues that you didn't have. So make sure you remove any workarounds that you built for the old bugs. All right, so what should you actually do with this entire update we've talked about? If you're a cloud user, the automatic rollout starts December 15th, so that's quite soon. You don't control the timing, so you should definitely check your systems now if you don't want to have a surprise when the new week starts. If you're in self-host, you control when to upgrade. You should use the migration tool first, test in the staging environment if you have one, then upgrade when ready. There's actually no real urgency to update your instance if everything is working fine right now, so don't stress it. But to recap, here's what you need to do with this new updates and steps. Most users would actually have zero issues with all of this. The breaking changes only affect specific use case. But if you're in one of those use cases, you need to know as soon as possible and take actions. The boring infrastructure work in 2.0 is what enabled the useful features coming next. That's the reality of building production systems. The boring infrastructure work in 2.0 is what enabled the useful features coming next. That's the reality of building production systems. We built 90 plus client systems in n8n, and the subworkflow wait bar was something we'd work around in multiple implementation. Now that it's fixed, we're going back through those systems to clean up the workarounds. Yes, it's painful, but it's necessary. That's the kind of things that you only learn by building a skill. What are the real issues versus what's the hype? If you want more breakdown that focus on what actually matters when you're running production automation systems for a client, please like the video and subscribe. We cut through the nose and show you what works in real business environments. And if you're on n8n Cloud with Python nodes, check them before December 15. That's the one thing that could actually break workflows with no easy fix to them.